You can see here they're ridging, which means the enemy team is able to deliver all that firepower directly to like one target. They need to back up here and reposition. Hey, what's going on, guys? Phil here, and welcome back to another favorite chassis variant review. We're going to be going down the list again from my Twitch chat who voted. And by the way, if you haven't checked out already, Twitch is a great way to just interact. I just want to go ahead and like start the video with that. If you haven't been over here at twitch.tv/NGNGTV, I can answer questions live. We do fun build requests, shenanigans. Sometimes I get trolled. But overall, it's a great experience. It's a great way to interact with you guys on a daily basis. And I stream Monday through Friday, 12 to 6 p.m. Eastern. If you have not been over here, I'll have a link down below. Just pop on over there, click the follow button, and of course, join on one of the live streams. It's a great way to just, well, enjoy mech porn. All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop back into the video. Again, that'll be in the description. All right, so let's talk about the mech today, and that is the Blackjack. And in particular, my favorite BJ, if you will. Of course, the kid comes out. The favorite Blackjack to me out of all of the lineup is the BJ1. Now, this has a special place. Back in the day, I did the BAM, right, which was the AC-20 and medium lasers. Now, that goes way back before Clan Tech, right? I mean, we had an XL trade-off versus standard engine, the BAM and the AC, the medium lasers. Now, it's still a viable build out there, but I prefer like the Hunchback 4G for it, and there's a few others as well. To me, I think it's a pretty just standard build, which is 2 AC2s and 4 medium lasers. And the cool thing with this particular battle mech is the high mount. If you can see it, you can shoot it. And well, that's right there where your cockpit is. So again, it's one of those things too where the arms aren't directly in front of you, so you don't get blinded like the Shadowhawk. Or even sometimes the Bushwhacker is a little bit blinding, but definitely in Shadowhawk. So this is AC2s and 4 medium lasers, pretty standard. There is some limitations and some pros and cons. So let's go and talk about those if you're looking at using this mech. The cons, it is squishy. It's got a flat front profile. I mean, look at this. There's not a whole lot to it. It's easy to pick out the left or right torso, and more often than not, you're running an XL or a light engine, and you're going to lose that. So to me, this isn't a mech that you use on the front lines. It's definitely you want to be behind friendlies delivering that AC2 DPS. And with AC2s, that is also a negative and a positive. The negative is you're throwing rounds down range, but you have to connect with those rounds, and you have to hit a lot to be able to do a sustained amount of damage here. And you know, obviously you have the mediums for closer combat, but those AC2s can reach out. So that is a negative and a positive. Overall, the shape of the mech, like I said, it's pretty flat in front. It looks like a mini Jaeger, if you will. But those high mounts, it's you know, it's good too. Obviously, you're vulnerable to losing arms, so just keep that in mind. Just like any mech, there's always trade-offs, but this is a squishy mech. It's not the tankiest. And of course, if we look in the mech lab here, the Blackjacks are notorious for having a low engine cap except one, and that is the 1X. They have a 235. What does that mean for you out there? That means your top speed is only going to be 84 kph, and that's not a whole lot. So just sort of keep that in mind. You're able to keep up with assaults, and you're able to keep up with most heavies out there, and you want to position yourself, and we'll showcase this in the match, behind. You don't want to be the front runner, right? You're here to do DPS. And speaking of DPS, if we look here, the cooldown is 0.72 seconds, and you can take off almost a quarter of that. I mean, look at that, negative 0.23. I mean, so you're throwing literally rounds below half a second each time. So with the setup, we have 4 mediums for backup, 2 AC2s. We have 4.5 tons. Now, I have seen people drop 2 of these medium lasers, and if I was to drop any, I would probably drop the ones in the arms, because if you lose arms, at least then you would still have the ones in the torsos, and you can add 2 more tons of ammo. Now, if you are going to do that, I would recommend putting them in the CT other than left-right torso, just because the CT here would utilize the ammo as far as the usage here. So you could do something like that instead of the left-right torso, because once you start taking left-right torso damage, you're more often than not going to lose. It's going to hit structure first. So it's a trade-off there. Again, you have to worry about ammo explosions, but that's just a risk versus a reward. As I mentioned here, you're not going the fastest. You do have one jump jet. With the recent jump jet changes, you should be good to go here. And we'll go ahead and talk about, you know, skills and stuff, so forth. I mean, at the end of the day, you want cooldown. That's what you're wanting. You're wanting those cooldown nodes in the skill tree. You want to utilize those radar deprivation nodes as well. But at the end of the day, your job here is to deliver rounds downrange. And with that, you also want to go for targets of opportunity with open left, right torso, or legs, or components that are vital. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a match. I'm going to showcase how I use this build, how you potentially could use it, and see if this is something that you haven't checked out before and maybe you want to give a try. So let's go ahead and do that and showcase what this build is capable of. Like I said, out of all the Blackjacks, so this is probably my favorite setup, just because it's also different. There's not many mechs, and especially medium mechs, that rock AC2s. It's mostly rack 2s or, you know, some other combination. So let's go ahead and jump in a match and show off the BJ1 in action. All right, here we go. Grim Plexus. This is actually a really good map for me because we have pretty long sight lines and again, range 943 meters. Optimal. So what does optimal mean too, by the way, when you see those numbers? That means you're doing maximum damage within that window. So if I shoot and I hit within 943 meters, I'm doing 2 damage, or whatever damage value, because maybe that changes. I'm doing the full damage, right? Same thing with these medium lasers, 326 or closer, I'm doing max damage. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this is, like I said, if you can see it, you can hit it, which is really nice. The medium lasers are split between the arms and the torsos. So if you look at my weapon groups, I have the 2 AC2s together. I then have all 4 medium lasers in group 2. And if you notice there, they all pinpoint on the same location. Just keep in mind that when you hit a certain limit here, for instance, if I'm aiming up, you can see the convergence there, right? My torso is the middle reticle and my arms are the little round reticle. So just sort of keep that in mind. That's how that works. Now, you notice I don't have side to side because I don't have lower arm actuators. The BJs, just like the larger Jaeger mech and rifleman and so forth. So it's not that I have arm lock on, it's you don't have lower arm actuators for that side to side. So tracking is limited to your torso rotation, whereas arm pitch, you still have arm pitch because the arms and the actuators and so forth. So let's go ahead and position. We got some firing going on. Again, this is a long range bout, and that's fine. You do want to be careful here. There are some ERPPC builds out there, ER large and so forth. You want to be really careful because trading with them, you may end up losing. Now, we have a target right there. Again, I'm going to go ahead and bring some rounds down range, right? And that is dual, that's a dual, probably dual light Gauss ERPPC Warhammer. I got to be really careful again. I want to be selective with my firing. You do have some good DPS here. We're going to put some rounds down target. You notice the hit indicators as well. Again, I just want to be a little bit of evasive here. My arms are squishy, so I just need to keep that in mind. Obviously, I got some friendlies. Let's go and pop up right here. This would be a good, what I consider hold down position, tank, you know, analogy there. And that is basically where you're only exposing what you need to engage here. And then popping back down. You can use jump jets, do the same thing. Now, again, you're not doing a whole lot of damage. This is a DPS weapon. I'm not getting a whole lot of face time, which is sort of a bummer, but maybe as the round plays out, we'll do our best here. Obviously, that guy is standing still, so we're gonna go ahead and give him some love here. Again, you do have to lead your targets just a little bit, but not terribly. Oh, I just took a burn there on my right arm. It looks like we're trading off here. Maybe Gulf 7? I don't know what's going on here. We may have to reposition here. Oh, I just got locked on. You heard that audible, and you saw that flash and audible beep. That is radar deprivation. I have 60%. As far as nodes, let's take down that UAV. We probably have a light mech that... Something obviously is popping UAVs right here. So we're gonna go take those down. There we go. We have lights maneuvering down here. We have assault mech. It's gonna need some help. I'm gonna try to help out as best we can. And those are trade-offs. I'm not gonna win. I'm not gonna win against that, so I'm gonna back off here. I'm not gonna win against a Mark II and a rifleman. That's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to provide. That's a UAC 10 build too, by the way.
Target engaged.
That's a scary build. That's a lot of burst damage with the UAC 10s. That guy's holding in there, but I can't really provide anything. So I'm going to, again, reposition. There's nothing I can do for that dude down there. If I expose, I'm just going to die, and there's no reason for us both to die. I can provide DPS here. Again, you can see me utilizing the medium lasers when I can. But big thing here, as I'm looking at friendlies, where are they positioned? You can see here they're ridging, which means the enemy team is able to deliver all that firepower directly to like one target. They need a backup here. Reposition. And speaking of reposition, there is the Arctic Cheetah. Again, a little annoying. He's going for back shots as well. So my Sun Spider is in a bad spot there. But we're just going to keep doing the best we can, providing firepower. There's the rifleman, Charlie, doing some damage there to CT. Doesn't have any armor blow-throughs. There's the Alpha. It looks like he's probably got dual. Okay, so right torso's open. I'm gonna go for that. Getting shot by something else. Torso twist there. My right arm's almost gone. Unfortunately, I'm taking some damage here. Pop UAV. I'm gonna go ahead back up. I'm gonna go ahead and reposition here. So I might lose my right arm here. Unfortunately, we are 1-7, so I'm just going to do the best I can with a limited amount, targets without dying too bad. Here we go. Okay, just lost my arm. Again, continuing firing here. There's only so much I can do. I am running an XL, but yeah, I think that's the best we could do. We are going up against good players as well, but I think it demonstrates a few things. The fact of it's not the best at trading at long range against PPFLD, which is that pinpoint front-loaded damage, right? You don't want to trade with GOS, you're going to lose. You don't want to trade with ERPPCs. I think we did a good job with staying behind friendlies and being the second line. Unfortunately, we were behind the hill there, and we couldn't really do a very good demonstration of just being able to deliver that, and our team was just folded. So not the best performance, but again, use case. What did we do? We used range when possible. We were trying to go for open targets on that, especially that Warhammer, that torso. But unfortunately, we just weren't really able to showcase the build off. Obviously, with the mediums, we were able to bring those to bear once the battle was getting a little bit closer and you have that DPS. But it's just one of those things where you're not always going to find yourself in the best situation, but you have to make do. Them coming over a ridge is great because you can focus fire. Unfortunately, what was happening is our teammates were doing that on that side, and they were pushing that low ground, and we had really no cover there. So again, this is my favorite BJ build as far as all of them out there. You do have the 1X, which is really nice as well. But as far as an AC2, it's really the only mech that I really play AC2s on. So again, it's just one of those things where you want to utilize that range. 943 meters optimal, which basically means you can shoot out to 1800 meters and do damage. Obviously, you may not want to do that because you're not optimizing the damage output. You're only doing like 1 damage. But sometimes you need to engage, at least say hello. So you've got that as well. Again, drawbacks, you notice, right arm. Took damage really quick and came off. I did lose pretty much all the armor on my torso before I was XL checked. I am running an XL. You can do a light engine on this, but keep in mind you're going to have to sacrifice something, and that is going to be speed, right? And for me, again, it goes back to saying what I've said on other videos, and is that speed is protection. So if you can go that 84 kph, that's a lot better than 60 or 70 kph, even though you might lose your torso and you might be knocked out of the action. Obviously, drawback here is AC2s require a lot of phase time. It's sort of like a rack, 2 or rack 5, and the fact of to be able to deliver rounds and do enough rounds, even if you're pop tarting and firing, really doesn't make sense to pop tart fire, 2 rounds and do 4 damage. You want to have a clear line of sight. So again, that wasn't the best case scenario, but that's just what happens. Let me know again in the comments down below what your favorite BJ1 setup is. Do you do the AC20? Do you do AC2s? This particular mech and its quirks as well. And I don't talk about quirks a lot, but this is something to factor in. Obviously you've got the cooldown, you got ballistic range here, you got ballistic velocity, and you have ballistic cooldown. That basically means you have a 22% cooldown on the AC2s, which again means you can put rounds down range. The biggest problem is you need a lot of face time. So that is a negative, but it's also a positive because you have some DPS. So anyways, that's it for me. If you found this video interesting, fun, make sure to click that like button. Again, leave me a comment down below what your favorite BJ setup is. And is it the BJ1 or is it the 1X or 1DC? Or are you a hero, fan of the hero with the arrow, machine guns and large pulse and so forth and so on? Let me know. And of course, I hope to see you on stream, as we mentioned prior, information down below. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.